Well, welcome back to Living Local. It's Thursday now, so it's time to check in with Movie Mike for what is new in theaters. Mike Schultz, arts editor for the River Cities Reader, joins us. Mike, thanks for coming in.
Always a pleasure.
Let's talk about these openings from last week here. Our big one here, the big anticipated new movie was, of course, Dune.
Dune.
The 60s book, the sci-fi, epic.
It is epic. It's huge.
Yeah.
It is so much fun. I was so happily surprised.
That's good.
I'm not a huge sci-fi fan.
Right. Okay.
And I thought, it's like, I know this is going to be a lot of world building. It's going to be a lot of exposition. The exposition is the most fun part. They really handle it so gracefully. I think for those of you who are sci-fi fans, you know the idea. It is set in the far future, 10,191, I believe is the year. And there is a planet that has a substance called spice that everyone in the universe is basically fighting over. And that's a good nutshell version of what's going on, because otherwise we'd be here all day. But as you can see, it is gorgeously shot. The cinematography is just beautiful, but it's also really involving on character levels, where they spend some time actually getting you to understand what's at stake here and what one person's relationship is to the other. And so while you're being wowed by all these incredible sets and costumes, etc., you also actually care about the people in it. And it's also funny, surprisingly funny, especially for a director, Denis Villeneuve, who's never made a funny thing in his life. And so this was quite a treat. I saw it twice.
Oh, okay.
I did, yeah. I thought it was a blast, and didn't fall asleep either time. I was so proud.
See, there we go.
Yeah, I'm learning, folks.
And they said this is the part 1, too.
Yes.
They've already decided that
they've greenlit the sequels.
They were like, boom.
Yeah, let's do it. I can't wait.
This only covered half the book, right?
Exactly right, yeah.
Woo! All right.
Yeah, more to look forward to.
Look forward to that. Now, our other opening last week, this was from the animated department.
Yes.
This one was called Ron's Gone Wrong.
Yeah.
I read your review. We were drawing comparisons to another movie from earlier this year.
The Mitchells versus the Machines.
Yeah.
Yes. This is a lesser version of that, basically. So if you got to see The Mitchells versus the Machines on Netflix, where it still is, of course, living forever, this one is about a world where kids basically have their own little ambulatory Instagram accounts that just follow them around and share their likes and make new friends. And our hero, a young boy, gets a damaged version, voiced by Zach Galifianakis. And then mayhem ensues and hilarity and life lessons about, individuality and making friends. It's all very well meaning. It's just not funny, and it's slow, and it's not that well animated. Zach is kind of funny every once in a while. A few of his readings are good, but aside from that, it's kind of a lesser version of something that that we've already seen. So. The 7-year-old I saw it with did not care for it either, if that means anything. So that hurts.
And a slow animated movie. You never want that. All right. Sorry about that. We'll move on to our new openings for this week. Let's start first off with this one. Last Night in Soho.
Yeah.
This is an interesting British offer.
A psychological thriller, looks like. A time travel thriller on top of it. It's got all sorts of stuff going on. This is about a young fashion design student in present-day London who follows a woman in the street and winds up in the year 1966 in swinging 60s London, and she basically becomes this nightclub singer played by Anya Taylor-Joy from The Queen's Gambit, and experiences what she does, and then comes back to the present day. And they're not telling us much about the plot, because apparently it is even more complicated than Dune, if that's possible. But visually, it looks kind of stunning. That's, of course, Anya Taylor-Joy. Thomasin McKenzie plays the other woman. There are 2 legends of British cinema from the 60s in it. Terence Stamp and Diana Rigg. If you watch Game of Thrones, everyone knows Diana Rigg.
Her last
movie before she passed. But it looks gorgeous, and I love Edgar Wright movies, so I'm hopeful. I can't wait.
Hopeful's a good one.
Hopeful's good, always. Right.
All right, our next one here is called A Mouthful of Air. This is we talked about this earlier, we haven't had a kind of serious type of sad type of movie.
Hollywood doesn't really care about the sad movies for grown-ups so much anymore, which is too bad. It has been a while, though. I think you have to go back to like The Father or something from this past
I forgot about that, yes.
Absolutely. This is based on a best-selling memoir. Amanda Seyfried plays a very successful children's book author, though, who is suffering from postpartum depression. And she has a suicide attempt not long after her first child is born. Then she has a second child, and it gets kind of worse. It is based, as I mentioned, on a memoir. The director is actually the woman who wrote the memoir, so she knows her subject. Great cast, though. Again, Amanda Seyfried and Finn Wittrock and Amy Irving, who I love, and Paul Giamatti. lots of good people, and yeah, something for grown-ups.
Amanda has really done a good job getting out of that typecast.
Yeah. Oh, I just
blonde
adore
girl
her.
type of thing she used to do in a lot of movies.
She's tremendous. She's great.
Last but not least here, the best one is for last here.
Yeah.
This movie is called Antlers. And
that's all you need
it's
to know.
supposed to be, yeah, scary too. So that's a great image for you.
Yeah, there we go. It's gonna have horns and blood, is what I'm guessing. This is about a creature in Oregon who lives in the woods. It's a mythological creature called a Wendigo, which is kind of like a Yeti, but it has the horns of an antelope type of thing. It likes killing people a whole bunch, and so it is on the loose in Oregon. It kind of finds its way to the home of a 12-year-old traumatized boy whose teacher starts noticing strange things and starts noticing they might be connected to the series of dead bodies that are floating all around Oregon these days. It's going to be gross, I have a feeling. It could be fun, though. It's got Kerry Russell in it, Jesse Plemons, good people. Yeah, looks atmospheric, and it's Halloween weekend. We had to get one of these, buddy. I'm sorry.
And well, you know what? This movie's been, I read they shot it like 3 years ago.
Oh, did they really?
Terribly delayed.
That's a great sign.
They had to get this in here now before it completely went bad.
Fair enough. Okay, I'll let you know.
Yeah, best of luck with that.
I appreciate that.
Thank you so much for coming in, Mike.
Yeah.
In review, our movies from last week still out, Dune and Ron's Gone Wrong. And new this week, Last Night in Soho, A Mouthful of Air, and Antlers. You can always read Mike's movie reviews, of course, inside the latest River Cities Reader on stands everywhere and online at rcreader.com. And for more on today's movie, our website there is ourquadcities.com.